Hey, I just want to say what's up to everyone out there. My name is MENIC ONE of the Fabulous Five writing group. I'm here with my partner, fellow member, BRAZE ONE, and we just want to say a big shout out to the old school. Peace to Staten Island. Peace to the Fabulous Five, OG, OG2, Doc, 109, Mono, Slug, Rin 1, and all the old school guys. We're here with one of the original Fabulous Five members, Doc 109, a real legend in the writing and graffiti game. And we're going to hear the Doc 109 story. And it's just a great story of a lot of history there. We always try to share our history. And we have one of the true legends with us. Doc 109, welcome. Welcome, brother.
What's up, brother?
It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here with us. And we just want to talk and we want to hear the Doc 109 story.
You
Doc.
got it, brother.
So why don't you start us off with just the Doc 109 story, how you got started, and kind of start us off there, Doc.
Well, I got started in Brooklyn watching Flint 707. He used to live in Brooklyn. His tags were everywhere. And I said, damn, I want to do this. You know, that's what got me started. But I really get started till I got to Staten Island.
Okay, so we're gonna use the timeline of I'd say the modern. There's always been writing, but we're gonna use the timeline of the modern era of graffiti. We're just gonna use graffiti just in the general term, but it's really writing. So we're gonna use the modern timeline, which 1970. Right, we're gonna go. That's the modern era of writing graffiti, 1970.
Right.
So, Doc, when did you kind of like start? Give us a little timeline.
I say like early 70s.
Early 70s. Okay.
And where I was writing with All Two, If, and Van.
Okay, we're gonna go back to Brooklyn, and give us a little background of your Brooklyn life there.
Well, Brooklyn life was just getting over, never going to school. Pickpocketing just for money, you know, hanging out with the brothers and going to Coney Island, going to Prospect Park, shooting CeeLo. And that was the life, man, you know.
What part of Brooklyn you from, Doc?
Flatbush.
Flatbush, okay.
Mm-hmm. And back in the day, the brothers, you know, they took care of you. You know, they wouldn't let nobody mess with you, you know. A person like me, you know. And it was a good life.
A big difference from today, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's a big difference.
All right.
Big difference.
And so you started noticing some of the tags and some of the pieces that the guys were doing, or this was really before they were not too many pieces at that time?
Right, just tags.
A lot of tags around.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone particular that you sticks out in your mind?
Just Flint.
Flint, okay, okay. Yeah, he's still around today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one I remember from tags in Brooklyn.
Okay. You know? And then from Brooklyn, we get to Staten Island.
Right.
Came to Staten Island. Did you know anything about Staten Island at the time before you came here?
Nothing.
Okay. And we did have some writers here, you know. There's always a little bit of graffiti. I remember coming up in the late 70s, there was always some tags or something around. But when you got here, you're one of the early ones. So who did you start out with when you got to Staten Island?
If, Van, and all.
Okay.
And we started bombing the buses.
Right, okay.
Every bus in Staten Island we hit.
Wow. I remember those tags. Yeah. I remember your tags, All Two, and you guys used to hit with the unis.
Right.
And you had the minis, you had the pilots, the unis, and the minis.
Yep.
And the unis, man, when you caught a tag with a uni, the nice fat, that stood out.
Man. Oh yeah. Well, you had to stick the pin in them to make them wider, you know.
And so I remember those guys started in the Bronx, and then they came to Staten Island. Those were like the early riders, If and All Two, and Van Two. I remember some of those early tags, man, going towards Port Richmond. So when you got to Staten Island, would you consider yourself one of the Port Richmond writers, or?
Oh, definitely Port Richmond. Writers.
Okay, Port Richmond, because I know at that time, you had really like two areas. One was Stapleton and Park Hill. A lot of writers, some writers came out of that, and then you had the Port Richmond writers, like yourself, all two, and Van Rin also was out of Port Richmond. So you had those two different areas. That was kind of like the main source of writing out of those two areas.
Right.
So so you came out of Port Richmond,
Right.
and I remember the buses, man. You guys had a lot of
We bombed them.
bombed them, all the buses. I remember I was going to school at that time, and we'd get on the bus and we'd see all these tags and say, "Wow, what's that, man?"
Yeah.
You know, we were just like, it was just like amazing to us, man. And that's what kind of got us into writing.
Yeah, we hit the bus yard in Port Richmond. Over there.
Okay. And that's
Back
before
then, you could just walk in and tag it up.
you take it up,
You know?
sneak into the buses and kill them all in one night.
That's right.
And so that
Outside the buses and everything.
Yep, that's for sure. That's for sure. So you hooked up with all two, and how did you get into like doing pieces?
Well, know what happened? I told them, let's go do a piece in Park Hill, because I heard about Fabulous Five.
Okay.
So we go to Park Hill. And all of a sudden, all the brothers rolled up on us.
So that was who was with you at that time?
It was Van and all two.
Van and all two?
Yeah.
Wow. And yourself.
Right,
And you went to Park Hill.
right. 3 white boys,
Okay.
you know. And all of a sudden, all the brothers rolled up on us.
Right.
So I started painting, and they goes, "Yo, that's Doc 109, bro."
So they knew you.
They knew me, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so so when they saw you writing in Doc 109, were they writers too, or
They had to be righties.
Right.
I remember talking. This is a long time ago.
Sure.
So I remember talking with them and everything, you know. And then when I got to Curtis High School, that's when it all exploded.
Right. So at that time, you weren't with the Fabulous Five yet,
No.
and so you went to Curtis, and who was there that was really writing? How did you get involved with some of the other writers from Staten Island?
I'll tell you what. I was playing basketball, and the best player on the Curtis team went up for a layup, and I smashed it on the board. Everybody said, "Whoa!"
Wow.
They said, "Who's that?" And Mono was there. They said, Mono goes, "Who's that guy?" He said, "That's Doc 109."
Wow.
And that's how I hooked up with Mono.
Okay. Because Mona was going to Curtis at that time.
Mono was going
also.
to Curtis.
Right. Was he writing?
He was writing.
Okay.
And that next day we went to rack up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we went to Pathmarks on Forest Avenue to rack up.
Wow.
So on the way out, they grabbed me.
They grabbed you?
Yeah.
Oh,
cops,
snap. Okay.
You know, so now they got me upstairs. They go, "What are you doing? Painting the BMTs and this and that," and, you know. So anyway, they bring Mono up. I said, "I don't know him." You know, I didn't rat him out.
That's good, Doc.
You know, and so that's how me and Mono became real tight.
Oh.
You know, and that's how most of it started to start meeting the Fabulous Five.
So you met Mono,
Right.
and was he in the Fabulous Five at that time?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how did you end up meeting Slug?
I met Slug in Curtis.
Okay.
Then then we started hanging out. I started going to his house in Stapleton Projects.
So they already had the Fabulous Five when you
They
met up
already
with
had
them.
the Fabulous Five.
Right.
Yeah. Then they started bringing me to the Park Hill, and OG was DJing. And then they would have the Black Spades would come down to roll on him.
Okay. This was in Park Hill.
Park Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got down with them one time, and I was in.
The rest was history.
Yeah, I was in.
So the original members was yourself, Doc 109. We have Mono, Dirty Slug, and OG. Now OG, he started in the Bronx with
Right.
the TFP, the
Right.
Fantastic Partners,
Right.
and he came to Staten Island, and so he was original Fabulous Five, and so you have I know the Professor 2165.
Professor 2, I forgot about him.
He was one of the original members.
Right.
So you have yourself, Professor 2165, OG2, and Dirty Slug and Mono.
No,
that was
but
there's more than that.
Baby Ice, Bum Dewey,
Okay.
Pip and Doofus. There was a lot of, but they weren't righties.
They were just kind of hanging out
They were
with you
hanging out,
guys.
Yeah, if there was trouble.
Right.
Because, Fabulous 5 was, ready to roll.
They had different. You had the riding faction, and then you had the guys that were just down with the group and everything.
Cornbread, there's a whole lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
A whole lot. Because they were having trouble with the white boys down there.
In Park Hill.
Next to Park Hill.
What next to Park Hill? Right. It was a whole different time back then.
Right.
Okay. All right.
That's why OG put the Fabulous 5 together.
Right. Oh, and we're going back to the early 70s, right?
Early
give us a little
70s,
timeline there,
yeah.
Doc. Maybe
Like
70,
yeah,
72,
yeah,
73,
yeah, something like that.
around that time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so you guys hooked up with the Fabulous 5, and you started going and doing pieces together.
Started doing pieces, yeah.
So at that time, it was you, Mono, and Slug.
Yeah, and OG.
And OG, right? Did a lot of pieces.
Right.
I remember you guys were kind of known for the whole cause, doing like the whole cause. I mean, some guys were doing it, Blade and those guys, but I think you guys like really exploded doing the whole cause.
Yeah, but that didn't happen for a while.
Okay.
Because when Mono took me to live with him in Lower East Side.
Okay. So Mono left Staten Island.
Because Mono had no parents. His mother was in very bad shape.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy gave us a crib in Lower East Side.
In the Lower East Side. Okay.
To protect his building.
Right.
And then that's when we started hitting the layups.
Okay, so before then, what were you guys doing as far as writing? Just maybe...
Slug OG was writing because he was with that the crew, you said.
Right, yeah, he was with the TFP with
so
Butch and Bot
right,
and those guys. They already were doing their thing in the Bronx.
Right, Slug too. Slug had did pieces.
Right, yes. I even talking with him, he said the same thing. He would even see some of OG's pieces,
right,
but he didn't know him at the time until he got to Staten Island and all those guys hooked up.
Right.
So you were just kind of doing tags, and you and Mona were just kind of tagging, maybe doing smaller pieces. When did you first start like doing your whole call?
Oh, that was
A little bit later.
Double R.
Okay. Give us a little history with that.
Yeah, we go down to Canal Street where the trains were laid up.
Mm-hmm.
And we started doing window downs.
Okay.
And then after a while, Slug started coming to Lower East Side.
Right.
And then me, Mono, and Slug started doing whole cars.
Right, I remember that.
Top to bottoms.
Yes.
On the R trains.
On the R trains.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were blowing that up, man.
And how did you start maybe branching out? Did you start branching out to some of the other lines?
No, not for a while.
Okay. You just kind of stuck with the R.
It was right there.
With the R line.
It was 10 minutes from our house.
Right. That was your spot there.
Yeah.
Off the Lower East Side.
Right.
I remember going up to the Bronx. We used to go up to the Bronx from Staten Island, just to see the writing, just to see the graffiti art. And I'm talking about, this was a little later, maybe towards the later 70s, maybe 77, 78. And a lot of the pieces that you guys did were still up. Mm-hmm. At that time, they would keep the pieces up for years, man. They weren't buffing them. They were running for years. And I remember when we first started going up to the Bronx, Doc, you're a little older than me, and we were just teenagers. I can remember seeing one of Slug's pieces was a 2-car piece. He had SL on one and UG on the other. And then right behind that, I remember seeing one of your pieces, Doc 109, where you did Dr. Doom from the Fantastic Four. Right. And you had a character. You guys were doing characters too, not not just the pieces with your names, but with characters,
Yeah.
and that was like, really wow. And I can still remember. I'm going back 40 something years. I can still remember as clear as day that Slug piece and the Doc 109 with the Dr. Doom, and that's what you guys were known for.
Right.
Those whole car pieces, and and it's still in my mind to this day.
Well, that's when we started going up to the Bronx.
Right.
Right. We stopped the R trains
Okay.
and we started making that trip.
That trip up to the Bronx.
Right. Right.
And okay.
And then when we started banging down the Bronx, that's where the fame was.
Okay.
And then we were hanging out on Brooklyn Bridge because that's where the trains come up to.
Right.
And we're watching our pieces. And then that's how we met Lee.
Okay.
He comes over, he goes, "You're Doc?" I said, "Yeah." Then he started talking and everything, And then him and Mono started doing pieces.
Mono and
Mono
Lee.
and Lee, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was going up with Slug. Me and Slug were bombing up the 4 and 5 trains.
Right.
And then we just blew up.
So, so Lee came,
Mm-hmm.
and you put him down with the Fabulous Five.
Yeah, well, we seen all the stuff he was doing, and he was burning it.
Right.
And
So
he asked us, he goes, "Can I get in the Fabulous Five?"
Right.
He asked me and Mono. And I was flying, I was flying with gang colors and everything. He goes, "Doc, he's with you." That's Doc. He goes, "Yeah." So we got him in,
you put him into the Fabulous Five.
Right.
Okay. And so Lee was writing on his own before he got with you guys.
Right, because he was doing a lot of stuff in the Lower East Side too.
Okay.
And that's where we lived.
Right.
You know.
And you didn't know of him.
No, we didn't know
until he came and met you that
because he was going to the Brooklyn Bridge to look at his pieces coming in.
And you guys happened to be there.
We had to be there at one time, and
right.
He said, "Yo, you got skills, kid."
Okay, yeah.
You know?
That was smart, Doc, to put him in. Okay, you saw that early on.
Right.
Okay, so now we have yourself, Mono, Slug, OG, but I know OG kind of had. He was kind of retiring a little bit, so it was just the main guys, and now you added Lee on.
Right.
And I remember some of those pieces that you guys did with Lee.
Right.
Those were incredible.
Right.
Let's talk about the whole car you did. Right. That's talk of legend. Right.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
One of the.
There's a whole story to that because
tell the story, Doc.
Mono, Slave, and Lee were gonna go do it. I was hanging out with Slug and Blood, Mono's brother.
Right.
Now we're running the streets.
Okay.
So anyway, they went to the layups that night in Brooklyn, and me, Slug, and Blood go, "Yo, let's go roll on them, man. See what they're doing."
Mm-hmm.
So we went down there, and they all ran because they thought we were work bums or cops or some shit.
Okay.
So anyway, we got back to the Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
This one we were in Staten Island. We have left Lower East Side.
Right.
Because we were getting hot in other terms,
Sure. Yes.
Gang banging and robbing and everything, and we had to get out the Lower East Side.
Right.
So Mono goes, "Yo, man, I know a spot. We go to Staten Island, because we'll go back to Staten Island."
Okay.
So we got a place in Staten Island, and that became like the biggest hangout.
Okay.
Everybody partying, Party Central.
This was in Stapleton?
No, that was in New Brighton.
New Brighton, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we partied, women, partying, dance, party. So anyway, we rolled up on them. They ran, and whatever happened. When they came back to the clubhouse in Staten Island, they go, "Yo, man, we got rolled on." He goes, that was us. Fucking Mono, they were pissed off, bro. That was us, man. We came down to see you guys, man.
You surprised them.
But what we do was see, you fucked us up by showing us the lights. We had kind of, flashlights.
Sure.
And shit, so we thought you were work bombs. So anyway, that's how I got in. Because I rolled with them the next day.
Right. You went back and.
Right. I went back with them.
Okay.
Slave didn't go. It was just me, Mono, and Lee now.
Right.
Because Slave did his car.
Okay.
Right. and Mona had did his cars. Then he had a couple more cars to do. I had to do a whole car,
Right.
And then I got into the double whole car with the reindeers.
Okay, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Lee was smart that he put it when they pulled out of the tunnel, they couldn't see the pieces,
Right.
and buff it. It would run, you know.
Right.
So that day we were waiting on Brooklyn Bridge. The next day, I mean, and it came out.
You saw the whole thing?
The whole thing pulled into the train station.
Wow.
And everybody's like bugging out. And
Yeah.
shit, you know.
That was incredible at that
Yeah,
time.
Yeah.
You know? I've just seen like snippets, a picture here, a picture there, but I never got to see the whole car. I would have loved to have seen like the whole train.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that must have been really cool. You know, I had pictures, and I got a nice picture of yours that you did, and the reindeers, even Slug. And a lot of those pictures are very rare. You know, they're not on the internet. They're not, you know, you got to really kind of find them. But there's no picture of, I'd love to see, I wish we had camera phones at that time.
Yeah, but I got the pictures of the windows not buffed.
Oh, wow.
'Cause
Wow.
we took that train, we rode it to the Bronx.
Right.
And then we got to Baychester, we pulled the emergency cord. We jumped on the tracks and started taking pictures.
Wow. That's great, Doc.
Yeah, so everybody took their own, pictures and everything.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
See, I got the whole the reindeer one with no windows buffed and everything.
Wow,
I got my car, no windows buffed and everything.
That's classic.
Yeah,
man. That's
because everything in the books and they all got the windows buffed.
right. Yeah, they later they caught the pictures later on.
Right,
you know.
right. Because they sent that to the shop quick.
Well, they figured we can't have this out there
Right.
to give other people ideas.
But people
man.
were clapping on the stations when they seen it.
Wow, wow.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's the power of writing and art, and people love it. You know, people love it.
Yeah.
So that train goes down in history as one of the top. I would say, you know, graffiti trains, graffiti artwork of the 70s. You know,
Another crew did that before us. Another crew did that before us.
Another crew, yeah.
But they didn't get out the yard.
Oh, wow.
They
wow.
got it out, and the yard seen it, and they pushed it back in and buffed it.
Okay. But yours,
Because Lee was smart. Lee was smart. He said, we got to do this side of the train. Said,
Right.
"Yeah, you can't see it.
Okay, that was smart. Yes,
Yeah, that was smart.
And it did run. You know, I'm sure they broke it up eventually, but then different spots. You know, different pieces of the train did kind of get out, and people saw it.
Right.
So we're on to you have Lee involved with you guys and Slave, and from there you did some more whole car trains,
Whole
right,
car.
Doc?
Yeah, that's all we did was whole car.
Yeah, that was what the Fabulous Five is known for.
Yeah.
You know.
I did a bad one, the Land of Funk.
Okay.
Yeah, Lee said, wow, you burnt that, man. You know.
Tell us about it, Doc. What'd you have? Anything special?
It was like just all crazy and shit, you know. It was like, I couldn't remember what I did. It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
That was a long time ago, bro.
You know, we're
But
going back, man.
Lee always talks about that piece,
Yeah.
the Land of Funk, you know.
Wow.
'Cause Mono had did the car next to me.
Okay.
I did that one, you know. And we used to just go up to Baychester, and that was a ride.
Right.
And have a good time. And
So that's coming from, you travel all the way from Staten Island?
No, this is when we're now in Lower East Side.
Oh, Lower
still.
Side. Okay.
Yeah.
That's still a travel though. Yeah, up
Yeah.
to the Bronx. That's a long ride.
Yeah, it's a long ride. And plus, we used to bring ladders with us,
Okay.
you know, from the tunnels,
Right.
just so we, make it easier for us to paint.
So you guys were always prepared too,
Yeah,
right?
People looking at us on the way back. People going to work. We were all bummed up and everything, you know. And get out of our way, man.
Yeah, that's the whole time. That's a lot of work, man. It wasn't easy. You know.
First, you got to go for steel paint. You know, you got to rack up.
Right.
You know, so you're racking up maybe 100 cans a week. You know, getting ready for the weekend.
Right.
And now you got to pay for the paint.
That's a big difference. And
shit.
you guys, one thing about you guys, the Fabulous Five, you always used a lot of colors. You made your
Krylon.
That's when the Krylon paint was good, though.
Krylon
Doc,
was good
right?
back then,
Yeah,
yeah.
now it's all watered down.
Yeah, yeah.
But back then, that paint, that was real paint.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys always used a lot of colors. You had the block letter style down, man. That was and just big, man. That was, I think that's what the Fabulous Five is known for, just big productions.
Right.
You know, your name big, and with characters, and that was a big deal, man. You had a lot of guys. They did window downs,
Yeah,
but the Fabulous Five. Once you got into the whole car, that was your thing.
oh yeah, yeah.
So.
I mean, we ain't gonna lie, we did a lot of window down in the beginning, you know.
Right.
But
That was very rare. I have a picture. I don't have a picture of a Doc 109 window down. I'd love to get a picture of that one.
Yeah,
Doc.
I don't have any. Neither.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But I do have a picture of one that Slug did and Mono. I have a couple of Mono window downs. Those are very rare. You know, even the Slug one, that is very rare.
Yeah.
So I have there's a great picture of a piece that you did, Doc. I say one of the classic Doc 109 pieces. You did one with Mono, and it's on one of the old trains with the round windows. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
Those old trains. It's one of your classic pieces that you did.
Like a serpent coming out.
Like a serpent coming out,
yeah.
yes. And then Mono did one next to you.
Right.
And I think you guys did a couple, maybe you might have did a Fabulous Five or something in there, or there was some other guys with you. But that's one of your classic pieces. I only have the picture of it's kind of buffed a little bit.
Yeah.
And some of the paint is a little faded because you see it was probably running for a while.
Right.
But I'd love to see that piece when it was fresh done, man. That's one of the classic pieces that you did, Doc.
Right.
You know, it's actually one of my favorites, man. Yeah, I got a lot of favorites that you did.
Yeah, that one.
But
that's in the books.
that's the one they always kind of show from the books.
Yeah.
But so all right, so Doc, so we're kind of moving along with the Doc 109 story here. And so you guys are piecing, you're doing the window, you're doing the whole cars, and you're making a name in the writing world, the Fabulous Five, and just kind of give us a little story. You know, once Lee gets involved, and you're taking it to a even bigger level, right? Since you got Lee down with you guys, and with Slave also. So now you start doing. I've seen once Lee and Slave, you get down with you guys. I start to see actually the Fabulous Five, and on the car, on a whole car, the Fabulous Five.
Right.
And so the Fabulous Five is getting out there, and you guys are actually becoming, I guess, one of the top groups. Give us a little background,
Yeah,
Doc.
I had left I had left the Fabulous Five.
Okay.
I had went to the Army.
You went to the Army.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I had to get off the streets.
Right.
I was getting hot.
Mm-hmm.
And even the day before I went to the Army, I was with Slug and OG, almost got arrested.
Oh, man. Okay.
I had to go tomorrow. I said, yo, man, I got to go tomorrow morning, man. Here comes the cops, man. He goes, come on, we got to get out of here. We not layups, we were doing something else.
Right, sure, I hear you.
Yeah, so I said, I got to get off the streets for a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I had to.
Okay.
And no bullshit, that saved my life, probably.
God bless, man. God bless. So you kind of left. You went to the Army. Were those guys still writing at the time?
Yeah,
or
they were writing.
They were still kind of writing, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of left. You took a little break.
Right.
And when you came back from the Army, did you get back into writing, or
Yeah.
you started writing again with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And you kind of was doing your thing with Slug and OG. Well, OG had kind of stopped.
OG, yeah.
Yeah. But Slug and Mona was still, they were still writing.
Yeah.
Right.
But now, but then the whole thing, the women started moving in.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And you get older.
Yeah,
you know.
you get older. And the women started moving in, and
And that kind of changes.
it started changing.
things.
Like,
Yeah.
you go to get a job now. You got to
Right.
we can't be doing this. You got to start doing things.
Sure,
With your
sure.
life,
Right. Well, I remember Slug. I knew Slug from when he moved from Stapleton. His family. I mean, he was still in Stapleton, but his family, his cousins, they moved to Sand Street, right, the next block over.
Right.
And that's how I met Slug. And he was kind of like almost at the end of writing,
Yeah.
but he still had a lot of tags around, and even on the next couple of blocks over, he did some cool pieces, man. I remember on Prospect Street, Slug had a big piece on the wall there. It's a big wall. It's still there. The wall is still there, and I remember Slug had a piece there, and he had a lot of tags around, and right at I tell people, right at the top of the block. This was before I wasn't even writing graffiti at that time. I loved it, but I wasn't writing at that time. But at the top of the block, if we go right up to the top of the block here, it was a garage there, and the garage is still there. But at that time, it was some wooden. It just had like wooden doors on it, and I remember Slug had a piece there, had some tags there. The professor, and I remember passing those tags all the time, and I'd be like, "Wow, who is this guy, Slug, man? Who are these guys?" And then I finally met Slug, and he told me, "Yeah, that's me." And those tags stood there for like 20 years, Doc.
Wow.
And I moved off of the block. And when I would come back, my grandmother still lived on the block there. And when I would come back to see her, I said, "Wow, those tags are still there." I guess apparently the guy bought the garage and he took the wood off. If I would have been thinking, Doc, I would have took that wood off and saved it. That would have been worth some money now. But that's how far back you guys go,
Yeah.
So
Well, we were gang banging hard too.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were back in the Lower East Side with Mono.
Right.
And then I had 3 girls,
Okay.
3 of them,
Right.
and they go, "Let's go to this club in Brooklyn."
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I was all clean. I get off the train in Brooklyn. All of a sudden, he goes, Mono with like 5 guys. He goes, "Doc, yo, what are you doing, bro?" I said, "Yo, man, this is what's happening
Mm-hmm.
right here." He goes, "Oh, man." I went to this club called the Salsa, So the next day when I got home, see Mono, he goes, "Yo, man, can you hook me up, man?" He goes, I said, "Yo, man, you got to forget about gangbanging, bro. This is what's happening. This shit,
All right, Doc.
This is what's happening now,
Okay. all
Everything
right.
changed now.
Sure.
Everything's changing,
Sure.
The club scene was getting big,
Right.
and it's time to grow up. And shit,
Okay. So you guys kind of slowly just started one by one,
Yeah.
kind of retiring, I guess, from writing at that time, like
Right.
full time writing.
Right, right.
I remember one of the last few pieces I would say that you guys did on Staten Island was the Tompkinsville pool,
Mhm.
and that was like really the spot, man.
Right.
Riders used to come from the city. People used to come from the city just to go to the pool. That's one of the oldest
yeah.
pools. And
Well, my wife lived right in the hole there.
uh-huh.
That building right there.
Right, yeah.
That's where she lived, in the hole. We called it
Wow.
the hole. And she,
Yeah, that's all changed now. I remember
It's all
that
changed, right.
that was apartment buildings there, and right before you get to the pool. But I remember that you guys, myself, had just started kind of writing at that time, and you guys, the pool was a hangout, man. There was no cameras or nothing back in the day. We used to sneak in at night, right? And chill out in the summertime and chill out in the pool there. But I remember, and I tell the story today, even to this day, that you guys, you bombed the pool, and it's a little different now because they changed the whole station around, but because there's a train station there, but it used to be as you used to come to the train station, you could see over into the top deck of the pool.
Right.
That's I think where the concession stands were, and you guys did pieces all in the pool, and I remember you had a Doc 109 right there on the concession stand with colors. It was dope, and I remember down on the outside on the wall there, OG had did a piece, and Mono had did a piece. That OG piece, inside the pool, they buffed those pieces, but the OG piece that stood there for at least 20 years. Wow. That was there for 20. We're talking about the late 70s. You guys did the pieces. That was there probably into the early 90s. Wow. That's how long it was there. And I used to always see that piece and say, I was telling OG about it. I said, OG, you had that piece there. It was an OG with OG too. And that was there and it was in good condition, man. The paint that we used back then, Doc, that was good paint, man. That paint lasts forever. But long story short, Mono did a piece on the outside of the pool. Do you know that Mono piece is still there? I'm talking about I think that might have been 1976. It's faded, but that Mono piece is still there. You could still make it out. I have a picture of it, and I said, "Wow, I think that's one of the oldest old school pieces still left on Staten Island." So, you guys are still part of history. Yeah. All right, so Doc, so we're kind of moving along. You guys kind of stopped.
Oh, I got married in the 70s.
Right. Okay.
So I was probably the first one to get married.
Right.
And get away.
Okay. And slowly, I say one by one, you guys kind of, just kind of stopped writing, even though you would still kind of do your own thing, but like officially just kind of like, I guess you would say kind of retired from writing at that time.
Right.
And so Lee kind of continued on.
Lee continued. Right? Lee was still blowing things up.
Right. Lee and Slave, they kind of continued with the Fabulous Five, and they kind of kept it going. And they made their mark, continuing with the Fabulous Five.
Right.
And what I liked about Lee is that he always put you guys down. Yeah. When he did his pieces, even when you guys had stopped, Lee would. I remember one piece he did. He would always write all the guys' names. Even though you weren't there, he still always would represent you guys, and I always liked that, know. And I said, "Wow, that's really cool." That even though you guys weren't piecing, he still would always put you guys down.
Yeah, well, he was blowing up the handball courts and everything.
Right.
He was going to be something.
Right. So he kind of carried it on, and him and Slave, and even to this day, he's still he's still involved, and still kind of doing his thing.
Yeah.
And so that's great. Doc, anything else you want to kind of add, man? Yeah, just to the Doc 109 story. Let me say this though, Doc. You guys really you paved the way for a lot of writers. Your inspiration, your dedication, man, to writing. You guys really took it seriously. It wasn't just a fling or something. This was like really serious. You guys put your heart into it.
Oh yeah.
And you took it seriously. I think you took writing to a whole nother level at that time. There was other people, that were doing, Blade and Comet and all those guys from the Bronx, but representing, Staten Island and kind of doing all that the Fabulous Five did. You inspired a lot of other writers. I know myself. You and Slug and OG, you were like the first guys that really inspired me to like start writing.
Right.
Okay, and even to this day. So, but one thing also that I will say about you guys and the Fabulous Five is that it's more than a story of writing. It's a story of friendship also.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna let's just talk real quick about that, Doc. You guys been friends all these years, and even though everybody goes their own way a little bit, you guys still always stayed in touch.
Always in touch.
You always no matter what you guys are going through, you always put your friendships first. And even to this day, Doc, you guys are still friends. You still keep in touch. You still check up on each
Oh yeah.
on each one, and I think that's what makes the Fabulous Five and yourself and all the brothers even more special.
Yeah.
Because it's not only just writing, it's friendship and family. You know, you guys are brothers, and you put myself and Braze Cato into it. You put us into the group, and we try to keep it going also. But I will say, 5 years ago, we decided to get all the guys together, all the old school guys together. And we say, hey, let's do this mural. Let's get the guys together and do this mural. And I reached out to yourself and OG, and you guys said, sure. You came, and we did it 4 years out of the last 5 years. Every year, all the guys get together, and we did this mural, and that's a testament to just the love and the friendship that we all have.
That's right.
And you guys, you inspire us to do that, Doc, to keep our friendships going, and even Doc, I'm a cancer survivor, 6 years, and I know when I was going through my battles. You moved away to Florida, Doc, but you always came up to see me, man.
That's right.
Even if you didn't have time and you were running around, you came up. I remember one year you came up to see me. You brought me some art just to check up on me, just to say, hey, MENIC, man,
Right.
you're my brother. I love you. And even if I just see you for 5 minutes, I'm here for you. And that's the Doc 109 that I know.
You should see what this girl wrote about me from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I said, I seen her in Florida.
Right.
Right. And I said, you want me to do a canvas for you? She goes, you'll do that? I said, yeah, I don't want no money.
Mm-hmm.
I did this for her, man. She wrote something about me on Facebook.
Right.
He's the greatest guy in the world, blah, 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 big. And I love him and this and that.
Oh.
She was so nice what she wrote about me.
Right.
Man.
And that's from the heart, Doc.
Yeah, it's from the heart, bro.
That's from the heart, man. And a lot of people, I always tell the story, and I always talk about you guys. Your ears are probably ringing sometimes, Doc, because it's MENIC talking about you. But I always talk about you, and people know you, man. They know, even though they might not have met you, or they might not even have seen you, but they know the name Doc 109, and they know that. You're a good brother, man. You know,
you'd be surprised how many people know. just from when Yvonne was in the hospitals in Florida.
Right.
And I tell people, well, you know who I am?
Mm-hmm.
They go, who? I say, Doc 109, Fabulous Five. They go, get out of here.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
Yeah,
I know, Doc.
It's amazing how many people know.
Yes, that you don't even know that know of you. You
Right,
know,
right.
That's the impression that you have left with a lot of people. Right. Even coming here today, brother let us in, and he asked me. He said, "Oh, does that guy? Because they know me and Braze. We write, you know." And he said, "Oh, does that guy? Is he down with you guys? Does he write, graffiti like you and Braze?" I said, "Does he?" I said, "That's the original Doc 109." Yeah. Doc, you know what he said? Just what you said. Get out of here. Get out of here. It's amazing, I said, yeah. Man. I said, no, yeah, that's it. He said, wow. Yeah. Doc, they know of you, man. You know. And me and Braze, we kid around and we talk about it. That Doc, we represent the Fabulous Five. And we always try to represent the Fabulous Five with honor and respect. And, we share our knowledge and our understanding. And anywhere I go, we kid around with it, but we can go anywhere in the world. Now, graffiti writing is worldwide now. It's big. It's all over the world. We can go anywhere in the whole world that they know of graffiti, and we tell them, graffiti in a general term, but it's writing. And we tell them that we're Fabulous Five. Right away, we get respect. That's right. Because they know of us. And
I tell you go to that paint store right now in Lower East Side. I was in there for 2 hours the other day. Yo, that's Doc 109. Oh, man, that's Doc 109.
you're kind of a you're a living legend, Doc.
Yeah, it's funny, bro.
You're a living legend.
Can I
man.
take a picture with you? I said, yeah.
Okay,
You know?
but you're humble like that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
A lot. I would say a lot of artists and just anyone that's kind of like a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get to a certain level, they're not humble no more.
That's right.
You know, and that's just part of being a celebrity, man. Sometimes you separate yourself even if you don't want to.
That's
But
right.
Doc,
You know why?
tell me why.
Who are we? The Fabulous Five. How we going to do it? We're going to do it to death. 1, hold your head up high. 2, let the Fabulous by. 3, we don't take no jive. 4, drink Colt 45, sword or shotguns. Are we the Fabulous? Hell yeah.
Tell him, Doc. Tell him.
You know it, brother.
My brother Braze One, Fabulous 5 is
Test one.
is joining us here. Okay, my brother Braze
up,
One,
Doc?
What's up,
Fabulous 5.
Good day to you, brother.
You know it, kid.
Happy New Year coming.
Brother, Fabulous Five.
We got you out here in the last minute, right? The last
But it's all
in
good.
the countdown.
We want Doc to share his story, man. It's a great story. Braze, what you got to say?
Yeah. I'd just like to thank you for your contribution to the graffiti world.
Yo, this boy right here got skills. Yo, that's what I want to tell you. What you did for my wife? Oh, man, I got it hung up over there, man.
Thank you.
Yo, the shit
Thank
is
God
great.
bless.
Thank
God
you,
bless you
brother.
and your family.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for putting me down in the Fabulous 5,
You know it,
UOG.
You know it, brother. You know,
Yeah.
I got that hung up right, a collage for my wife and shit.
And Doc, you're good, man. You always put up the art that we
All
share
of it.
with you,
All of
and,
it.
and you keep it around you, and that's why we do it for you, man. To always, the Fabulous 5. One thing about the Fabulous 5, other groups, maybe they broke up or they have a little controversy or whatever.
Yeah, you
but
see
the
all that
Fabulous
shit, man.
5, we never have any kind of controversy, right,
when
Doc?
when I go to the Bronx and I see these guys, they're all fucked up and everything, and hanging out, and we don't do that, man. We paint and shit,
And we always stick together.
Yeah, right.
And one person, even if one person, an example with Lee, Lee made it big. He made it to the big time, but we don't hate on him with that. We're happy, we're positive, and we want to see him do well. And that's the Fabulous 5. We stick together and we encourage each other. So Doc, let me ask you just your opinion on writing. You started in the early 70s. Fast forward to 2025. Writing is big. It's huge. It's worldwide. What's your opinion on the culture? Where it went to, and where's it going? What's your opinion on it? When you see like the new writers, or just your idea on writing, Doc.
I mean, I like what I see from here on Staten Island.
Right.
What you guys do, but a lot of it is just throw ups, like in Brooklyn, or what they're climbing, or get their name up there 100 times and stuff like that. It's because you got to pay for the paint.
Got to pay for the paint, sure.
Yeah, you got to pay for the paint. So I guess maybe that they don't have time to be doing big pieces.
Right.
Like what you guys like to do.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like to make a masterpiece.
Right, sure.
Then people will stop and say, wow, that looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not seeing that, what they just throw up on the streets,
Right.
now.
Well, because, Doc, we got that from you guys.
Yeah.
We saw that years ago. That you guys were doing a big thing, and we wanted to emulate that. Well, that inspired us to say, "Hey, we don't just want to do a little piece; we want to do it big, like the Fabulous 5 guys did, man."
Right.
And so that carried on to us. So I would say that graffiti is big now, and there's a lot of positive energy in it. And that's what we're trying to promote. We want to promote positivity and anything we could do that's positive and that can make a difference. Just like you said, giving that person the artwork that you did for them,
Right.
they really appreciate it.
Right.
And graffiti, just in a general term, but writing is very powerful, and it's a lot of positive energy that comes from it. We're working on a project right now that we're working on some artwork that we're gonna auction it off. Doc, you're part of it. We have your name on it. Myself and BRAZE Inc. A big shout out to Inc. 76. Let's not forget him. We're working on a project that we're going to auction off, and we're going to donate the proceeds to charity,
Right.
to St. Jude's Cancer for Kids, man. And we want to do whatever we can just to give some positive energy out there. So that's the power of art, of graffiti, of writing. It's very powerful.
Right.
And it's still going to this day. So, Doc, let's talk about 2025. You just gave me some artwork. I'll have it up on my wall. Doc, you're still doing your thing all these years later.
Right.
Maybe a lot of guys, they stopped, but Doc, you're still doing your
I'm
art.
still doing mine,
Maybe
yeah.
not on a wall and on the
Right,
trains
right.
like you used to, but Doc, you're still doing it. Your canvases are great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit, Doc.
I love doing canvases, man.
Why are you still doing the art?
Just cause it's peace of mind,
There you go.
And I love doing it. I don't ask for money. I get money here and there, but
Sure.
I
And Doc, you could
Yeah,
you could sell your work for a lot, but you're still humble.
Yeah.
You're still humble, and you're still doing it for the love. Most of the guys out of my crew before I got down with the Fabulous Five, they all stopped. They don't even sit down and do anything.
Yeah.
So Doc, I'm proud of you, man.
I
that you're
can't
still.
stop. I can't stop.
There you go. Would you say it's in your blood? It's
definitely
just
my
in
blood.
you. It's a part of you, Doc.
Part of me.
And that and we're proud of that. We're talking, Doc, 1970, almost 50 years, Doc. Okay, that you still haven't stopped, man. And that's great.
And
That's
you figure, when you get our age, like people, they don't do it. They just ain't gonna do canvases.
Right,
And stuff like
right.
that. I can't go and just paint walls right now. So I get off by doing my canvases.
that's good.
You know?
And as long as you're still doing it somehow, Doc. Never stop, Doc. Never stop.
No,
you
no,
still
that.
you still got your skills. You still got your style. You never lost it all these years, man. A lot of guys, practice makes perfect, man. And a lot of guys,
definitely.
maybe they're not as sharp as they were when they were like really into it. But Doc, you still are, man.
Yeah.
I have a few of the canvases that you did for me. That's it's like you never even stopped.
Right, right.
So be proud of yourself with that too,
Oh, yeah,
Doc.
yeah. Yeah.
But so we kind of covered the Fabulous Five history, how you guys got started, how you got started, and really it's stuff of legends, but we finally get to hear the story from Doc 109 himself, and that's really an honor and a pleasure again to kind of have you here to sit down with you, and kind of get a little background.
And OG calls me all the time in Florida. He lives in Florida too.
Yes.
OG. So Doc, how we always still talk and slug and all of us.
Right.
Mono every day.
That's great.
You know.
That's great. And that, to me, that's one of the biggest things about you guys is that you take friendships seriously, not even, it's even more than a friendship. It's family.
Family,
Doc.
that's right.
We're all brothers. We're all different, but we're all brothers, and that inspired me. That's why I wanted to get the guys together 5 years ago to say, hey, Doc and OG and Slug and Mono, those guys still talk, man. They still a lot of come on, Doc. A lot of friendships, man.
Oh hell yeah.
They just fade away.
Oh yeah.
But you guys still hold those friendships together, man. And I would say writing is a way that we could come together and still like enjoy something that we did in the past and still keep it, how would you say, present, you know? One thing about graffiti in a general term, but writing, the past is good. And the past is part of our history. But I think that's the only art form that you have to kind of still do it, you know? You can't live off the past.
That's
With
right.
graffiti, you know, like Janet Jackson says, you know, what have you done for me lately? Okay, you know,
right.
that, you know, the past is great. I'm a big history person, Doc. You know, I could talk about old school all day long, but people still want to see, okay, well, old school is good, but what are you doing now? What about now? Doc, you could still say that, man.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys, they can't say that. Well, I haven't did a piece in 30 years. Okay.
Yeah.
But Doc, you could still say that, man. You're still doing pieces now. You're still doing your art. You're still keeping it alive now, which is, to me, that's just great. I'm happy to see that happening.
Just like my boy at the barber shop in the Lower East Side. I did another one for him.
Right.
And he goes, people come in and say, yo, who did this?
There you go.
know?
And then when he tell them, you know,
yeah.
that's not just somebody. That's Doc 109. Okay.
right.
Doc, that's great, man. That's great.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to kind of add, or maybe one of the times you guys did a piece, or you know, one of your favorite times that you did a piece or something that you guys.
I was always drinking.
Okay.
While I was painting.
Right. So
That's one thing you got to remember.
no, I know. Well, I know the deal, Doc.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
all right. So I mean, just any little story that you might want to share. You know, anything that comes to mind.
See, a lot of things were bad things.
Yeah, no. Well, let's try to maybe stick with. You did talk about the whole train that you did, and you know, any special piece that you have that you kind of say, hey, I kind of.
You can't even
Yeah,
remember.
okay, all right. I know it's going back a long time, you know,
Yeah.
but it's all good, Doc. Yeah, we remember. Okay, we remember, and a lot of people remember you. In a way, it's too bad that we didn't have the internet or social media back then. But we have to realize that people forget that writing was a secret thing, man. You didn't go around telling people, "Hey, I'm this person or I'm that person."
Right.
You kind of kept it quiet, man. Only the people that knew, even you, Doc, as popular as you are, and as many people as you know, a lot of people, you know, maybe they didn't know that you're Doc 109 because you didn't go around telling people that. Yeah, we and even myself, even to this day, as many years later, they still, you're MENIC? Like, yeah, because I didn't go around, I didn't put it. Now that's what everybody does. They put it on social media, they put it here, so everybody knows who everybody is. So, but back then it was kind of quiet. It was very secretive. You didn't know, unless you knew the people involved, you didn't know. You was like, well, I see this name, but I don't know who he is. So I think that's the big difference. But I kind of like it that way, you know, because this way it means more. The memories mean more. The pictures mean more because it's a moment in time that you might not even see again, man. There's a lot of pieces that you guys did that to this day, just a quick example, the one I was talking about with the Doc, with the Dr. Doom and the Slug, the 2-car Slug, I've never seen a picture. And I search the internet. I do. I get on social media, Instagram, and all of that, YouTube, and I've yet to see a picture of those pieces.
Lee says somebody has it. Lee said, I said, damn, well, we never took pictures.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
We never took pictures.
Right.
You know, we just went painting.
Right. Just here and there. I mean, I remember talking to Slug one time. He said he did have some pictures, but he kind of lost them, you know, just in time, you know.
Most of the pictures would come from Canal Street.
Okay.
We weren't really taking pictures when we were in the Bronx.
Right, right.
That was the whole thing, man.
Right.
All those badass pieces we did.
Do you wish going, now that we could go back, do you wish that you kind of had took some more pictures of some of the pieces that you did?
Yeah.
Just to kind of have it like in
Lee took a lot of pictures.
Right.
He made sure he took pictures of his, because he went a lot by himself.
Right.
Except when Mono started seeing his sister, and then Mono was going to the layups painting with Lee, like the one they did on the Williamsburg Bridge.
Okay.
That's in a lot of books.
Right. Yes, I remember. It's a big Mono whole car, and then it's a Lee next. I think I have a picture of that one.
I did the other side of that bridge.
Wow.
Me and Lee.
Okay.
And the toys went over it the next day.
Wow. The next day, look
I
at
burnt
that.
thing. I
Yeah.
burnt it, man.
Yeah.
And we didn't take no picture.
Oh, what?
You see?
So that was on the Williamsburg Bridge.
On the other side.
On the other side.
The
On
Brooklyn side.
on the Brooklyn side.
Right.
Okay. You and Lee did a piece there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Came out nice. I did the deal with the outlaw hat on, and
Right.
skull and all that stuff. you
Wow,
know?
Doc.
Yeah, it came out real nice. And next day we went back, or night or something like that. Toys went over it.
Oh man, they messing up history, Doc.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, they don't
But
know.
yeah, so that's the big difference, I think, with you guys and today with writing. Now it's just hey, how can I get more fame? How can I get just a quick fame? I'll do a piece, I'll post it, and then they get a million views. But the difference with you guys back then, get Doc, yes.
No, I said I got the fame, and I never did nothing. I mean, took pictures and nothing.
Right.
But everybody knows when they meet Doc 109, they go, "Oh my God,
Right.
it's Doc." So I got fame somehow.
So, yeah, that's right.
You know?
Without the media, without
the
social
me-
media,
right,
without
right,
pictures, man.
right.
So there's something to that.
That's right.
There's a reason why.
That's right.
I think because you guys put an effort in, man. You put an effort in. You did it out of love, man. You did it out of passion, not for money, not for that you wanted people to give you fame. You just did it because we love writing.
That's
you
it.
know,
That's it.
we did it. We like hanging out with each other, and that's why. And so I think you guys' fame is a lasting fame. It's not something that's just, how would you say, a one-hit wonder type
right.
of deal, which a lot of guys today. That's not knocking nobody.
Right.
But I think you guys were real, Not that the guys on today aren't real. They are. But there's something special about you guys, about the Fabulous Five, about yourself, Doc, and all of the brothers.
Just like when I went to the Bronx for the first time, to the one of those places they were painting.
Right.
Once they met me, they go, "That's Doc, that's Doc."
Right.
Everybody here, sign this for me, sign
Sure.
this for me, sign this for me.
Right. When they do the Old Timers Day.
Old Timers Day. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
That's it.
you know.
Yeah.
Sad to say, Doc, we're old timers
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But it's all good. At least we can say we're still around,
Yeah.
right? And that's the thing, when they see you, Doc, they respect you, man.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get respect, because they know, hey, that's Doc 109.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the new guys, or even some of the older guys, everyone kind of like, everyone stops riding at some point.
Yeah.
But some guys still kept it going. They never stop. But I would say most guys, they do stop, and some of them come back. So they might have been out of it for a while. So they don't really know who's around. But when all the old school guys start coming back, and they see, wow, hey, this he's back. He was used to write. So when and like you, Doc, you've been out of it for a little while,
Right.
And so when you come back into it, and the guys, know, hey, that's Doc.
Yeah.
You still get all the love and respect,
Yeah.
And
But they know who it is.
mm-hmm. Well,
it.
Doc, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
I think we covered a lot of ground here, and we got the Doc 109 story from Doc 109 himself, Fabulous Five, and it's a great story. It's a great story. It's a story of some great artwork, not just graffiti artwork, but just art in itself, man. It's a story of friendships
That's right.
and just hanging in there through ups and downs. I know you guys had a lot of ups and downs, but making it through all those ups and downs in life and still holding on to the friendships and still being there for each other. It's not just a story of writing. It's a story of people,
Right.
of good people and good hearts, man. That's the main thing. And, you inspired me, Doc. That's why I do a lot of the things I do,
brothers.
is because of you and OG and Slug and Mono and you laid the foundation that there's nothing happening without a foundation, right? Without the roots. You could have the biggest tree in the world, the redwood trees. They're the biggest trees in the world. They're huge, but it all starts with a seed, and it all starts with roots. You guys are the roots. The tree is big now, Doc, but you guys are the roots of that tree. We couldn't have did it without you guys.
Right.
So always know that, man.
Yeah.
That maybe
influence,
you're not a millionaire. Some guys are millionaires from graffiti, man. They making money.
And all of us painted Curtis a handball court.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
We all had to get a little bit of
Doc,
that.
tell a quick story about Curtis High School, the handball court. You say you were one of the first guys to kind of do a piece there. I remember when I went there. That's years later.
Yeah.
There was that it was killed.
And
But
I even
let's
got
go
one
back.
I even got one with me and If.
Let's go back to that quick story.
Yeah.
Tell the story about you and If painting on Curtis. Now that's going back
Because,
even before there was any pieces there.
No, there was a Slug had hit it.
So that was after Slug or that was before Slug?
After Slug.
That's when you and If did the pieces?
yeah.
That was before you knew Slug or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know Slug.
You didn't know Slug. And
Didn't know
Slug
Slug.
had his piece there already?
Right. And
Okay.
I told If, let's go do a piece on this.
Right.
And then on Mad 13,
Okay.
he was a Fabulous Five.
Right.
He did a piece after that.
Okay.
I still got pictures of that.
Right. Wow.
You
have a piece of the original If and the Doc?
Yeah.
That's classic, man.
Yeah.
That's classic. Now, If, not too many people, even know the name.
Nah,
man.
yeah,
Doc, okay, when you talk about Doc and All Two and If, that's going back to the very beginning, Doc. That's the early days,
They
man.
wrote with the 3 Yard Boys.
Okay, yes. And All Two, I know he did some pieces with Checker up in the Bronx, before he got to Staten Island. But, nowadays they don't even know who's If. I never know who that guy is, man.
Yeah.
They know you, Doc, but If and All Two, they don't even, All Two, they might have remember him a little bit, but If and yourself, so that's classic, Doc. Yeah. And Curtis High School was the spot. That was a big a graffiti spot that people would know and see. That they had that big handball court in the back.
We did the roof.
Wow.
We did the roof, and they buffed that the next day.
Okay. Yeah. How did you get up there?
Baby Ice climbed over the fence and got this big ladder for us.
Wow.
It was me, Slug, OG, and we did pieces 10 feet long.
Wow.
That's how big the roof was.
Wow. On the roof of Curtis. Well,
Yeah,
you guys.
you could see it from the football field.
Right.
Wow. Wow.
And they buffed that the next
Yeah,
morning.
they say we can't have that, man.
We didn't even get pictures.
Oh man,
Whenever
Doc.
Basic
Wow.
and Bino got up there.
Yeah, okay,
They
that
had
but that
something
yeah,
with
that that's
scaffold,
years
scaffold
that's
up
years
there.
later, man. Yeah. So see, that's what I'm saying, Doc. You guys, how would you say, you say you paved the way for a lot of stuff. Now, guys are climbing all over and doing pieces, but you guys. I didn't even know that, Doc.
Yeah.
So that you kind of paved the way. Now they're climbing here and there. So you guys were maybe the first ones to climb up on top of something, man.
Oh, yeah,
and piecing,
Yes, Baby Ice passed away now, a long time ago.
Right.
But he was the original Fabulous Five.
Okay.
In the back of the AMP in Park Hill, that was top to bottom. That was about 20-foot wall.
Yeah,
Looked to
yeah.
me.
Well, Doc. Thank you so much, man. It's a great story.
Thank you, Doc.
You shared a lot with us, a lot of insight, and we want you to tell your story, Doc, and you did, man. Great job. And that's just just touching. This is just part one, Doc. Okay, we're gonna do a part two, but it's a great story. It's a lot of positive energy there, and from the beginning to now, Doc, you inspired a lot of people. You know, people that you don't even know that you might have inspired. You know, I'm one of them. But even Braze is another one. But even people that, even riders that, even the new riders, man, they all know of you, Doc. They all know the Fabulous Five, and not just Lee, man, but they know the real, they know the original Fabulous Five.
Right.
Yourself, Mono, Slug, OG2, Professor. You know, those names, man, they go down in history. You know, so we just want to say thank you, Doc. It's been a pleasure,
Thank
and
you, sir. Thank you.
all the best to you,
Great
brother.
having you.
Always know we love you. You're a brother, and God bless, Doc. Thank you so much, Doc 109, Fabulous Five. Okay, all right. What do you think, Doc? How we do?
I guess so, right?
Good interview, bro.
I need a beer.
Okay, we gonna
I
get
got
you
one for you.
You got one?
Yeah, I got one
My
for
mouth
you.
is dried out.
How we do, Ken? Okay, all right.